So you want to buy one of these, and you're hoping to find one of these, but like my coin here, those dreams could just fade away.
If you're a newcomer to the hobby, it's difficult to know just where to start. There are so many manufacturers of detectors, and what do you really need in the way of accessories? This friendly group of people are the Brighton and District Metal Detecting Club. Today they're being interviewed for National Geographic magazine. Joining a club is a great way into any hobby.
My first Roman, which is a Faustina Cistercius, and a few just odd bits and pieces really. Chinese, George, William.
Before you start detecting, there are essential things you need to know. How does that machine work? What do those funny noises mean? There's also the matter of where do you detect? Your own garden is fine, and you shouldn't need permission for a public beach. Most land, though, belongs to someone.
Before you dig on private land with one of these, there are 3 things you'll need. Permission, permission, permission.
Although you may walk on public footpaths, detecting without permission is theft and could get you into serious trouble. It also brings the hobby a bad name. This is another way in which joining a club can be helpful.
A lot of people join the club because they approach farmers and farmers won't give them the time of day, but you seem to have a way of doing that. Is it something you've developed over a period of time, just naturally being friendly with them?
Maybe I come from a farming community. I worked on a farm for a number of years before the army got hold of me, and then, so I can talk to farmers.
It looks like a manhole cover to me.
All club members are expected to adhere to a strict version of the country code. This covers such things as the correct filling in of holes. Holes left open can be a hazard to people and animals alike. The most important aspect of the hobby and the club are the finds themselves. These items are priceless for what they tell us about our national heritage. Later we'll see how they're recorded under the Portable Antiquities Scheme and become accessible for everyone.
The club meets once a month. Apart from taking care of business and having lectures and various talks, it's a great chance to get together with like-minded people. I'm going to go and have a chat to a few. Any ideas what it is?
I have no idea actually. I don't know. But it looks exciting. Yeah.
Gorgon III, 238 AD to 244, a silver Antonini 90.
You're a relative newcomer to the club. How did you get interested in metal detecting?
I always wanted to do it, and then I was on a walk in a field and I met 2 club members, and they told me that I could join the club if I was approved.
And it's been very useful to you to join the club, is it?
I couldn't have done it without joining the club.
And have you had any fantastic finds so far?
No, I haven't found anything really good yet. I'm still waiting.
Living in hope.
Living in hope.
What is your favourite find?
A spoon, silver spoon, I found in November 2003, which was ultimately sent to the British Museum. It was felt to be treasure trove. The date was uncertain. It was dated between the 14th and the 19th centuries, and it was returned to me. The farmer was shown the spoon, agreed that I should keep it.
Right.
And I have it with me here.
Oh, that's splendid, isn't it?
Yes.
And I believe it was featured in this book, is that correct?
It was in the Treasure Report, 2004.
I've heard some people tonight calling you a Flo. Is that a middle name or does it mean something?
The FLO actually stands for Fines Liaison Officer, so it's FLO for Fines Liaison Officer, and I work for the Portable Antiquities Scheme that basically comes into the clubs like this, and I record any fine that's over 300 years old onto a database for the good of everybody's heritage. It really is absolutely vital that we get a grid reference for the fines and the artefacts that are being recorded so that we can get some sort of context for where they're coming from, and by looking at the fine spot information you might be able to see distribution patterns or see new sites that perhaps hadn't been recognised before, and only if we know about this stuff as archaeologists can we protect it should the developer decide to put a road through or a new housing scheme or something.
Well, we'll catch up with you at the Barbican at some point and see the next stage of the recording process. Thanks very much.
I'm Fines Liaison Officer plus a committee member. People come on a Tuesday night. I record where the site was, what they found, who it is, and then when I've got it, then they go and see Liz Wilson.
Right, and that all goes in this book here?
It all goes in this book here, and it's recorded. We've been doing it now for since going back to 2003, up to the present day.
For many years there was a certain amount of unwarranted suspicion between metal detectorists and archaeologists. It was a shame because it stopped them doing joint projects together. The Brighton and District Metal Detecting Club is pioneering in the way it's forged links with the Brighton and Hove Archaeological Society. The archaeologists were amazed to discover how much information the metal detectorists had about metal finds. In turn, the archaeologists could teach the metal detectorists about proper excavation, how to identify non-metallic finds. I'm here today on what's called a recovery dig. Excavations for a new building have revealed what appears to be Roman remains. Time is limited, and so it's a great opportunity for both organisations to work together.
I work for the County Council as an archaeologist, so we deal with these sites across the whole of East Sussex. We're looking for archaeological sites that are going to be destroyed by development, or as we can see here, major areas stripped back.
What is the value of the detectorists on these type of sites?
Very important. The detectorists are recovering artefacts from the subsoil and the topsoil. In this instance, the topsoil has been taken away already, so we've probably lost a lot of the information already. So possibly some of that is still remaining on the spoil heaps. The detector is also recovering metal artefacts. Those are very useful for us for dating. At the moment we're relying on pottery and bone for dating, but if we can recover metal artefacts off this site as well, that'll manage to keep us get our dates in.
So using detectorists then, you think that's a good way forward?
Oh, definitely yes. Even for identifying sites, detectorists are out in the fields, they're covering large areas and they're obviously getting concentrations of artefacts, which is possibly indicating sites, and that's very useful for us to start plotting where these are, and then if those areas are going to be destroyed by building or road schemes or whatever, we can then get in there, do the archaeological work, recover what we can. But the detectorists, are the ones in the field who've highlighted these areas, right. So they're very useful to us. Yep.
Here on this site, we're working with the archaeologists, and we're both working for the country's heritage. So we're recording what we find as the metal artefacts, and they're recording the other bone and china, etc., that they're finding here. And together it completes a social record of an area such as this site.
So you think it's been a good way forward then to involve metal detectorists in these type of digs?
I think it's far better to work together, and I think that what we're learning is, what we're gaining, of course, is the vast amount of metal finds, and hopefully what the metal detectorists are gaining is a perception of really what archaeology is about, and really what the broader aspects, and hopefully, and many of metal detectorists, and actually do come along digging, which is great. So it's been beneficial, I think, for both groups.
At the start of this film, I said I'd catch up later on with Fines Liaison Officer Liz. That's why I've come here to the Castle Museum at Lewes to find out more about the Portable Antiquities Scheme. Well, Liz, it's nice to see you again. Now, you collected up some things at the club at the last meeting. What happens next?
Right, basically when I come back from the club, I put all of the club's objects into a tray like this so that they're all kept together and so nothing can go missing within the system. And then object by object, coin by coin, I have to take them out, make sure they're weighed and measured, and then I photograph each one.
Now, the information that's on the Portable Antiquities site, is it available to anybody or just the select few?
On the public side of the website, which is online, anybody can look at the basic records that we make, but the finder's details, names and addresses, and the grid references are protected on a separate database that myself and the other Fines Liaison Officers can access. The county archaeologists are able to access it so long as they've signed an agreement with the Portable Antiquities Scheme, and that also means that if there's any development work going ahead and we need to protect sites where metal detector finds have been found, that information could be passed on to a developer so that they know that they've got archaeology on their site.
I think a lot of detectorists are worried that at the end of the day they won't get the items back. Is that true?
No, that's not true. Basically, what we do at the end of the process, once I've finished recording all of the finds, I will bag them up and get them ready to be returned to the finder. So say, for example, that Roman coin that we followed through the process, the finder will be given back the Roman coin with a printout and a photograph of the object to show that it's been recorded. The only exception to that rule is if it's a treasure find, in which case it has to go through the treasure process, which is a legal process, but we will help you with that as best we can.
So we're having a look here at the Metal Detecting Code of Practice, is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. What we would really like to encourage is for every single detectorist to basically work towards this code of practice for responsible metal detecting. There's basically 13 clauses to it, and obvious things like not to trespass and make sure you obtain permission from the landowner before you go out searching, but also more in-depth information about what you should do to record your finds and also about the Treasure Act, and that's absolutely vital really that everybody sticks to that.
Hello. Ooh. I hope you enjoyed this DVD. I certainly liked making it. At the beginning I said that maybe those dreams could fade away, but as you see, if you take it up properly, there's no need for that. Find the right detector, get advice. Look up the Portable Antiquities Scheme on the website. If you'd like to maybe join the club, then there'll be contact details on the end. The same as for the Brighton and Hove Archaeological Society. Don't forget, obey the country code. And when you're out on those fields, fill in those holes. Ah!